Salvete omnes! Today we are going to talk about the perfect passive indicative in Latin. Let's break this down. So the perfect passive indicative. Indicative is the mood of the verb. So far, all the verbs we've seen have been in the indicative mood. We'll be learning more about that and, of course, also the subjunctive mood a little bit down the line. Perfect, we know that as well, right? This is just the past tense in Latin, right? So we've seen this in sentences like scintilla flacum valere usit, right? Scintilla bid, flaccus farewell. So the new element is passive, right? The perfect passive indicative is taking our old friend, the perfect tense, and putting it into the passive voice. And when we do that, we change so that the subject is receiving the action, right? So, flaccus velere iusus est a scintilla. Flaccus was bid farewell by scintilla, right? The subject is receiving the action of the verb. Now, how do we form the perfect passive in Latin? So what we will do is we will take our perfect passive participle and we will combine it with the present tense of the verb to be. Sum es est, sumus estis sunt. So to form one, for example, let's look at the verb amo, amare, amavi, amatum, to love. So the perfect passive participle, amatus, will be combined with sum. Es est, sumus estis sunt. Now, when we're utilizing the perfect passive indicative, the perfect passive participle, that first part of the verb, must agree with the number and gender of the subject. So the case will always be nominative because it's the subject, but it must agree with the number and the gender. Right, so let's look at a few sentences here. So Quintus dixit ego amatus sum. Quintus said, I was loved. So here amatus is masculine singular to match Quintus. Horatia dixit ego amata sum. Horatia said, I was loved. Right, so amata is feminine and singular to match Horatia. Mare dixit ego amatum sum. The sea said, I was loved. Right, so amatum is neuter singular to match mare, the sea. The verb to be will need to conjugate so that it reflects the person and number of the subject. So this is where we're going to be utilizing our sum es est, sumus estis sunt. So let's make a few example sentences using the verb to increase, augeo, augere, auxi, auctum. So pax aucta est, peace was increased. Pax aucta est. Furor auctus est. Madness was increased. So here auctus is masculine. Singular to match furor. Otium auctum est. Leisure was increased, right? So here auctum is nominative neuter singular to match autium, and est, right, to match that we have a third person singular verb. Let's make those sentences plural. Pax et salus aucte sunt. Peace and safety were increased, right? Because now we've got two subjects and it's plural. So instead of aucta est, as we just saw, we'll say aucte sunt. Furor et proilium aucti sunt. Madness and battle were increased. Now, this is an interesting sentence because we have furor, which is masculine, and proelium, which is neuter. So this is reminding us that we've got two together. If one of them is masculine, then the whole thing will be masculine. So because furor is masculine, we'll use the masculine aucti, instead of the neuter aucta. So furet porellium aucti sunt. Otium et carmina aucta sunt. Otium et carmina aucta sunt. Leisure and songs were increased, right? So here we have two neuter things, otium et carmina. So we'll say aucta sunt. Sunt being plural. Now, here we have the chart laid all the way out just to make sure we have our head all the way around it. So we see in the masculine category, auctus sum, auctus est, auctus sum, auctus est, aucti sumus, aucti estis, aucti sunt. In the feminine, aucta sum, aucta est, aucte sumus, aucte estis, aucte sunt. And for the neuter, auctum sum, auctum est, aucta sumus, aucta estis, aucta sunt. And there you have it. That is the perfect passive indicative in Latin. Valete!